Hey, Goat Knucklers, it's Flo. Welcome back to Goat Knuckle Talk with Flo, episode number 72. Again, when you're watching this video, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like the video, and man, leave a comment. We got some cool guys on tonight. Definitely leave these comments from 77. But anyway, before I mention the guys, actually Lisa's going to introduce them. So hey, Lisa, what is that blue thing?
I call it my
next to
special
you?
cat, my cat box. I just had surgery on my ulnar nerve and carpal tunnel and golfer's elbow. So three surgeries in one, 3 for 1. So
Ouch.
yeah, fun times. Anyway,
Your
I'm here.
hand looks.
I took some painkillers and I'm here.
Man, your hand looks like the size of a
that's a little
7-footer.
I know.
It's swollen. Ouch.
Yeah.
Anyway, so who do we have on tonight?
We have some pretty special and illustrious guys here tonight. So welcome our 77 basketball players, James Porch, Kelly Brown, and Greg Bassett. And then welcome back again, Danny Andrews. So I'm going to go to each one of you and ask where you are currently living. Let's start with Greg. Sir, where are you currently living?
Houston, Texas, about 2 miles west of the medical center.
Okay. And James?
Denton, Texas, just right up I-35.
You're my neighbor. I'm in Dallas. How about you, Kelly?
Just relocated to Lubbock and Ruidoso, New Mexico.
Oh, nice. 2 great places.
Thanks.
Well, welcome, fellas. So let's just get started right off the bat. When you guys started your first year of varsity, first of all, when did you start playing varsity? This is kind of a 2-part question. When did you start playing varsity? And then did you have a welcome to the varsity moment? Like, did you get hazed? Did the guys do a prank on you, or did you get a welcome? So Greg, I'm going to start with you.
Started as a junior. I don't remember any hazing.
I don't think we were into that.
Or are you guys just pleading the fifth?
Well, I call it hazing, but was there any kind of initiation? Like a prank. People do pranks. I mean,
Or even a good thing. It has to be a prank, but
I honestly don't even remember the seniors that were on the team. I think it was mostly. I'm not even sure there was any seniors on the team because
we had a few. We had John Daniels, Mark Stambo, Greg Hearn, Lester Fennell.
Greg Hearn's our age. Greg Hearn's our Greg
I meant Jerry, his brother Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry Hearn, his brother. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Those are the only 4 I can remember.
Okay, so were you a junior as well, James? Did you start
Yes.
early? Okay. What about you, Kelly?
Same here. My only recollection of hazing would be getting yelled at for suicides and things like that, but that's on every basketball team.
Okay, so what position did you guys play? Kelly?
I guess you'd call me a wing, a high post wing, primarily.
And
Me
you,
too.
James?
Guard, I guess.
Okay.
I don't think I really had a position, to be honest.
You're all,
Well, did your coaches kind of assign those positions just based on that's what your strengths were, or did you try out for those positions? Do you remember? Y'all remember?
James.
Basically, I think height predicted where you would probably play. And I think I was probably about the tallest of the guards. So,
Yeah.
we were a pretty big team, though. I mean, that's one thing that stands out to me was I won't get my numbers right, but it's something like 6 or 7 guys out of 12 would be 6'4" or so.
yeah,
Tall.
I think
I'm
we had one of the tallest teams in high school history, probably.
Really?
I'm 6'3", and there were 7 guys on the team taller than me.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay.
Wow.
And there was 9 guys on the team taller than James, and James jumped center.
Danny, what do you remember about this team and their height?
You know, I thought I never forgot anything, but I didn't remember him being all that tall. That was the last year of Bill Phillips's reign as coach at Plainview High School. Isn't that right, guys? And
Yes.
he, Bill liked height, but that 3-2 zone defense, I guess y'all ran that like everybody else did, or 2-2-1 zone, and so it was nice to have some height in there in that group. But I remember James being the smallest of the group anyway. But point guard, that was pretty typical anyway.
No, actually, Slick was the shortest. Gene Davis was the point guard, and he was about 5'7".
Gene Davis. I
Yeah,
coached
him and
Gene
Larry
Davis.
Williams.
I coached Gene Davis in the Little League. Yeah.
Well, James, okay, you started as a junior, correct? Again, no.
Not
you
at the beginning of the season,
Right.
no.
Okay, but when you first started, I mean, your first game, and I don't know remember you played, but how did it feel? Can you share the experience when you first stepped on that court as a starter for Plainview High?
It really didn't change too much at all. I played a lot. It was just that now I was starting. It wasn't too much of a difference.
Okay. Well, let's go back to your first time. I mean, coming off the bench.
Oh, that was the very first game. I think our junior year, we played Levelland at home. And the first time I came off the bench, it was just like I was in another world. Everything just got quiet. I didn't hear anything and was just focused on what I was out there supposed to do. And I don't know what type of game I had the very first game. I know we won that first game. And that's about all I remember. I think we nearly scored 100 or scored 100 points that game.
Well, did you have any idea you were going to come out? I mean, you were going to play, or it's just the coaches? Porch,
I felt like I was going to play.
Okay.
Just didn't know how much.
All right. What about you, Kelly? How'd you feel when you first walked on?
It's hard to remember all that. What I do remember, which is where I got interested in the first place, was that Plainview was a good basketball school. And in part, the earliest memories I had were with Greg's brother in the 71 time frame. And so the gymnasium was pretty much packed for most games, at least the games that mattered. And in some cases, I think they even shut the doors at some point because attendance, the fire code, things like that. So what I remember mostly is just the crowds and the excitement. And I think the band was probably there most of the time. And it was just a lot of fun is what I remember about it.
Cool. What about you, Greg? Your first time stepping on that court?
I honestly don't remember much about it. I started every game of my basketball life from 6th grade on, so it was just kind of second nature. By the way, James should have been starting right from the very start. He was always the best player on the team.
It didn't take long to figure that out, though.
No.
And I assume all you guys are right-handed?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Kelly's ambidextrous, but
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how was it Greg, to you? Kelly mentioned your brother, a 71 team. How was it? How did the playing under, not under him, but knowing that, hey, that you had a brother that played before you? Was there any, people reminding you who your brother was, or?
oh yeah, there was a long shadow cast. My brother was an All-State and honorable mention All-America, went to college on a scholarship, and they went to the state semifinals. So everyone in town knew my dad, and everyone in town knew my brother. So I was little brother.
And they expect you to play as good as your brother or better?
Yeah.
Hey guys, you might toss in here that Greg's dad was Charlie Bassett, who was the finance director at Wayland Baptist for a long time, a very beloved figure there. When kids needed money, Charlie Bassett figured out how to get a kid some money when, some of them were just arrived at Wayland with not much in their pocket, and Charlie always figured out a way to help them. So he was quite a guy. And of course, his brother Charlie, Charles Bassett, on that 71 team was a great player, averaged about probably 15, 16 points a game, and was really a spark plug for the team that got to go to state, finished 34-3 that year, and got beat out by Cypress Fairbanks in the state semifinals, 56-53, I believe it was.
58-55.
58-55, yeah, 3 points.
Those are good memories. I had no idea.
Well,
I saw all 37 games, by the way.
37 games, geez.
That year was the first year I heard about Plainview basketball. I was living in Garland, and I was messing with the radio and just happened to find the game on the radio and listen to it. I told my mom, I said, "Hey, Mom, look, Plainview's on the radio." That same year,
You
they
talking about
went
the
to
state semifinal game?
I wasn't there. I was living in Garland, and I heard it on the radio.
Yeah. The play-by-play announcer for that was Dick Reisenhoover, who was the voice of the Texas Rangers when they started in Arlington in Childress, Texas. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well, guys, who was some of the tough opponents that you guys played against? I'll start with James. I mean, junior or senior year.
You're talking about individual or team?
Yeah, well, let's go with teams right now. Let's go with teams. I mean, there's a two-part question, actually. Who was a tough opponent, and who was an opponent that you were looking forward to playing and beating?
I always look forward to playing Monterey.
That was it.
It was just something about Monterey. You just had to beat them.
Do they have some good players over there? Or,
we just hated them.
Yeah, it was just a hate thing with them. I remember Steve Lowry that played for them. I went to junior college with him for a year. And believe it or not, we became real good friends. Even though when I first seen him, I told him, "Man, I can't stand you." Or you're at high school. We just had laughs and stuff.
So I guess back then the district was what? Monterey, Hereford, Coronado, Lubbock High.
That's it.
Yeah,
that was it.
Monterey.
Okay. Did you guys ever play like Estacado and Kelly? Y'all ever play Estacado?
I don't think we ever did.
Played them once. We played them once at our gym. And they beat us.
I remember that.
Really? I don't remember that.
Okay. Was it a close game, or did they beat you guys pretty soundly?
No, I think it was a close game.
I think it was a close game.
A game we probably should have won, but we didn't.
Okay. Was there, going back to Monterey, Greg, can you tell us more in depth why you guys hated Monterey other than being Monterey?
Plainview and Monterey hated each other forever.
Yeah.
They were just the big rival in that district. Even when it was all Amarillo schools and Lubbock and Plainview, Monterey was the rival always.
Probably didn't help the attitude that Monterey would go into a stall when they got a lead and just drive the fans nuts, and probably y'all too.
Right.
We didn't give them a chance to, though. Especially our junior year. We swept them our junior year. We split with them our senior year.
Okay.
The junior year, they didn't get a chance to stall. We held the lead from beginning to end.
What about some of the other schools you guys played? Kelly, who else was a tough opponent or opponent you really wanted to beat besides Monterey?
Like a couple of schools that stood out. I don't remember much about it, but didn't we play Midland Lee at some point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Junior year, I ended up guarding Junior Miller.
Yeah, that's one player I remember was a guy named Junior Miller, who was a man-child,
Right.
and went on to be, I think, All-America tight end at Nebraska
Right.
football. So that was kind of neat. And then we played in the Hobbs basketball tournament over the Christmas holidays, and I don't think we ever played Hobbs, did we? But we got to see them, and they were the state, perennial state champs there in New Mexico. And one of the best players I'd ever seen play was this guy, Jeff. What was his name? Jeff
Taylor.
Jeff Taylor. He went on to play for Tech, and actually, I guess the Houston Rockets.
When y'all
That's
played
cool.
Midland League, was that a playoff game when y'all played Midland League?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
it's
Did,
just
did y'all play Midland Lee in the Plainview tournament? Wasn't the Plainview tournament still going on at that time?
Yes.
Yes.
the game I remember was at Midland Lee.
Yeah.
Our junior year.
Was
That
that
junior year.
There was one that I remember. It was a Big Spring, Odessa, Midland Lee, something. I just remember the game was hard, and the bus ride home was worse because
That was from Big Spring. That was from Big Spring.
It was like 12 degrees outside and 13 degrees in the bus.
The one I remember was senior year versus Border. They had a guy named Mike Jackson. And chasing him down the court was when I realized I wasn't going to play college basketball. Because he was on a breakaway, and I thought I was going to run him down. And he got to the free throw line and took one step inside the free throw line and went up and dunked it. And I went, oh, yeah, I got nothing for that.
Oh my gosh.
And then on the way back, that was Borger's like a 2.5-hour bus ride. And James got a cramp on the
I remember
ride
that.
back, and he was hopping up and down the middle aisle.
Like a calf cramp
I
or something?
remember that. It was a
Yeah,
Charlie
that-
horse about that big.
Yeah.
My leg, in the back of my leg.
Those were Tuesday night games too. Borger and Pampa both were Tuesday night games.
Shit, that's
So we'd get back at midnight and go to school the next day.
And I assume it was pretty cold because basketball's in fall and spring.
Yeah.
I remember playing football when I was young in middle school.
Well, y'all was back in the day when they still had those Bluebird school buses.
I don't know they had bluebirds back then.
Oh no, we had the old yellow school buses that were built for sixth graders, and we had a bunch of 6'5" guys trying to pack into those things.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
this is a good segue to ask you guys, who was your personal nemesis?
James Mays.
Who?
James Mays from Hereford.
Yeah.
Why is that, James?
He was left-handed. He was kind of jerky on the court. He had a lot of little moves and stuff, and he was just hard to guard because he wasn't really used to playing against a left-handed player. Even though we had one on our team, but I never guarded him, so it was kind of hard dealing with him.
Did he talk smack? Be honest.
No, not really. James was a nice person. He went on and ran track at Tech, didn't he?
Yeah.
Went to the Olympics.
Wow.
Dang.
I think he was a 400-meter guy. 400 or 800-meter guy. I don't know which one. I forgot.
Okay. So he gave you the hardest. I mean, he was your tough opponent.
Yeah, that's the only person I can think of right now. Other than it was Kitchens. I don't know if it was Keith or Kelly. I played against Kelly or Keith, whichever one. I played against him in junior college also. He went to Odessa.
Yeah, Kelly was the younger of the two.
Both good players. I remember that.
Yeah, they sure were.
Yeah, they were both good.
What about you, Kelly? What was your tough?
I don't really remember. I wouldn't even remember James Mays, to be honest. So I don't know if I got to have anything to add to that. There was some guy at Monterey whose name escapes me that irritated the hell out of most of us. Remember the guy? He kind of had beat nose, bow-legged guy, and he was more of a defense guy. But I wouldn't remember his name, but he irritated me. He talked smack too. That was part of the problem.
Just hearing Monterey irritated me back in them days.
Like Hartford for us.
Most of
For years, Monterey had a bad reputation. I think they came across as being really arrogant. And we've interviewed other classes, and Monterey, even though they weren't necessarily some years the tough opponent, it was just their level of arrogance, I think, that irritated the snot out of all of us, even in our era.
I would think that's both. Actually, they were a good team, but the arrogance was there. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Looking back, though, I mean, it was great fun. Now, that you think about it, because they had their gym was pretty full, if not all completely full, as was ours, and so that made it for a fun rivalry.
For sure.
Yeah, the old box at Monterey. Little bitty gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greg, what about you? Do you have a rival or a personal nemesis?
No, most of the smack talking that went on was after practice when we would play 3-on-3 against each other. We'd stay after practice for an hour and play 3-on-3, and there was a fair amount of smack talking that went on during that.
Who did the most?
Well, James could talk a little bit. Greg Hearn could talk a little bit too.
Well,
I never said anything, of course.
What was your shot, Greg? I mean, what was your go-to shot?
Jumper from the top of the key.
Okay. Like off around the pick, or you just?
Well, most of the teams in the district played 2-3 zone also, and I don't know if these guys will remember this, but we were playing Lubbock High in their gym, and Slick was our point guard, and he couldn't shoot from beyond about 8 feet. And so in about the middle of the second quarter, I told him to go play wing, and I took over at point guard. And first time down the court, threw it to James. He threw it back to me. I made a jumper from the top of the key, came down again, did it again, came down again, and I missed. And Bubba pulled me out of the game, told me don't do that anymore.
You mean our esteemed coach, Bill Phillips, we call him Bubba?
He was a little rigid in his ways.
And Bill would tell you it didn't make a difference if you were playing, some junior high team. He said, "This is going to be the toughest game you've ever played." If I heard him say that one time, I heard him say it 1,000,000 times. It'll be the toughest game you've ever played.
What about you, Kelly? What was your shot, man?
I don't know. I was an outside shooter for the most part. Usually off the wing, like Greg said. They played 2-3 zone, and it was usually off the wing.
Okay. James?
Anywhere from the corner to the top of the key. I don't think I really had a preference, just as long as I could get it off.
Yeah, we had Hollis Dunlap and Trampus Austin. They said that your shot was from the corner. That was your sweet spot. And I know you guys are especially. I mean, you outside shooters, man. I don't think they had 3-pointers back then either, did they?
No.
Man, what do you think if you would have had them back then, James? Do you think you were taking more shots from beyond the 3-point line?
We probably would have scored more as a team than what we did if we would have had the 3-point line, because we had predominantly good outside shooters. And I felt like if we would have had the 3-point shot, then we probably would have averaged 10 to 15 more points a game than what we did as a team.
Okay. Who's y'all's big fella? Who was the big guy?
Lindsey Dye and Greg Hearn.
I tried to get in touch with Lindsey through Richard, but I never heard anything back from him.
All right. So, yeah.
I also tried to get Greg Hearn, too, but he never replied either.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine if you guys were taking more shots, those guys would have been open more in the paint, huh?
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. So, all right.
Well, if we would have played fast, James would have averaged 35 points a game. I'm not kidding. If we would have played fast, he would have scored a ton of points because he could jump out of the gym and could shoot from anywhere.
Yeah, James, you were born a few years too early. The way they play now would be more your style.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that now, especially my relatives. They say if you'd have been born in the 80s or 90s,
right,
you would have been better off than when you were born. I'm happy with the way things went now. I have no regrets, nothing.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but our spring game in '76, he kind of threw the ball out there and let us go, and I think the final score was 108 to 104. And then, we went back to playing 2-3 and walking the ball up the court, and I think we averaged about 55 points a game. But
Yeah.
we had a bunch of athletes and a bunch of shooters on that team.
Well, I'm going to direct this question to Danny. You mentioned that other schools played the zone. Why do you think schools played zone back then? I mean, not man to man.
I don't have any idea. I never played basketball at a high level. In fact, I got cut the second day of my sophomore year when I went in to ask Coach Green. I said, "Could you reckon I can give her a pair of shoes?" He said, "Coach Clendaniel thinks you may want to concentrate on football." So ended my basketball career, and I refereed for about 15 years, and I thought I was a pretty decent referee, but I had no clue about what was going on out there. I thought, I don't know what these people are doing. I just tell them to keep their hands off each other. But I just know, Bubba had that 2-2-2 was it 2-1-2 zone defense?
2-3.
2-3. I mean, he perfected that thing, and I remember in that playoff game where Charlie was playing. They played El Paso Bowie, and they had a great shooter, Ed Lyman, out on the wing, and he just went out and told Leroy Buckner to just go out and stand where he's standing, trying to shoot, and they couldn't hit a bucket after that. But Plainview's zone defense was always pretty stout.
Okay. Well, let me, James. Let's go back to offense. Did you guys have to dribble before you shot, or the coach let you just run and gun? I mean, was he okay for you guys? Did you guys run other plays? Or were you guys able to just?
We had plays. We had zone plays, and if we ever ran into a man-to-man, we had plays for that. It wasn't like it is now, isolation and just go. And that's the way they play now. But back then, it was more structure.
What was your favorite play? I mean, of course. I mean, what got you open more often?
When they ran the zone, it was kind of easy to get open. Just go to the open spot. You run through the middle of the zone, try to post up at the free throw line, or just constantly moving with it. And you'll eventually get that open shot.
Okay. What about you, Kelly?
I think that's the same thing. I mean, 2-3 zone for a shooter is a great deal. I mean, if you just pass the ball quickly, you'll get open, and you just got to hit the shot.
Greg, what do you remember? I mean, you guys you were kind of disciplined, but not really.
Well, I remember we had a play for man-to-man that involved, if you were one of the wing, which is what James and I were, you ended up going up to the top of the key, and we all knew the play. And so if you were guarding somebody, you just go kind of wait for them at the top of the key. And one day James went running down by the baseline, and nobody was anywhere close to him. And he ended up with about a 5-foot shot, but it was not the right play. But
yeah,
it worked out just fine for him.
That's cool.
And believe me, he let you know if it's not the right play.
Yeah.
Run what you're supposed to run.
Right.
So your coach was really, I don't want to say hung up, but focused on the technicality of the plays. Like he was a more technical coach and expected you to run the plays that he called.
Yes.
Yes.
And we had a bunch of freelance players.
That's probably an understatement.
So how were the practices, Kelly? I mean,
I thought the practices were a lot of fun. Like we've known each other and played against each other for years beforehand, and so a lot of the best times I remember were the practices, like Greg said, after practice and even during practice. So I think they were a lot of fun. They got heated on occasion, and I remember those as much, if not more, than the games.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you share a story?
What made the practices fun?
Oh, just the trash talking and the work with the guys that you've known and play, and trying to one-up somebody, and It was just that. And they were hard practices. I remember the practice hard, and we had to run. I guess you call them suicides. I don't remember what they are anymore, but they were tough. Bubba was always yelling at me because I was kind of slow, and he yelled at me.
That's why we called you Pokey.
That's right.
Hey, Michael,
I
I
wondered
have a
if
question
anybody
to
was
you
going
guys.
there.
When they were playing junior high ball, we had was it 3 or 4 teams, Greg, in junior high. So y'all were playing each other all the time. Were any of you guys on the same team in junior high?
No, that's the thing. There was 5 teams in junior high and then 4 teams when we were freshmen. And so all the guys, we were all split up. We didn't play together until we were on junior varsity.
Yeah.
I think, James, weren't you on the same team with Lindsay freshman year?
Freshman year, yeah, Lindsay and I were on the same team.
Right. But like Punchy, Greg Hearn was on another team. I was on another team, and we were all the primary scorers. So one of the things we had to learn to do was share the ball as we moved up.
Okay.
We got a little bit of the short end of the stick, I guess, looking back. It's the way they had done it, I guess, for budget reasons. So, teams before us and after us got to travel even at the younger ages, the middle school freshmen or whatever. And it worked out for us that all we did was play each other for 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade. Okay. So we got to know each other pretty well, good and bad, and played against each other, like they said.
All right. That's cool. Hey, James, where did you go play? I assume you played pickup ball other than, practices, but like summer, where did you go to play that?
Austin Heights gym, the same gym that Trampus and them was telling you about where they threw their parties. That's where we played on a daily basis.
Okay.
The gym
I
was
talked
always
to
open.
Luthez Thompson earlier, and he said that they a lot of ball. There was a lot of ball at the Centrals too. Did you ever go there and play?
No, I never did go over there and play. That was after me.
After you, okay. All
Yeah.
right. What about you guys, Greg? Where did you guys play, or did y'all play in any pickup games in the summer?
I played a lot at the old Wayland gym.
Right.
That I don't know if it's even still standing or it was, but it probably built World War II or something like that, and no air conditioning. And so you really got you toughened you up if you're playing the Wayland guys, the college guys. And some of them were even older than normal college age. And so if you're a 13, 14-year-old, tall, skinny kid, you got to play, but you also got beat up pretty good by the older guys. And so it made you a better player.
Yeah, because a lot of the Wayland players came over to Austin Heights and played, like Chick Hatcher, the Jennings guy. I can't think of his name. He's from Petersburg.
Edward Jennings.
Yeah, Edward. A lot of them guys would come down and play with us over there. And you're right, Kelly, like 13, 14 years old. I'm in there playing with these guys that are grown men.
Yeah.
I
remember getting beat up.
Yeah, they beat you up.
I was going to say, did they take it easy on you guys, but it didn't sound like they did.
No.
If you're playing, you're playing. And this guy, Ernie Kahn, played for Wayland for a long time, was one of their better players. I remember playing against him, and I think he was older. I want to say he was even like 25 years old.
Yeah, he'd been in the U.S. Army before he came to Wayland.
So here I am, 14 years old, and here's this 25-year-old, ex-Army guy and talented. So it was tough, but it was fun though, and it was the fact that you even just got picked to play the game was a big ego boost.
I mean, how did you guys know? I mean, hold on. How did you guys know that to go play there with these older guys? I mean, when I was 14, 15, I was playing baseball and football, and I was playing basketball, but I had no idea. Like, hey, I'm going to go over here and play with these men.
Well, there was only 3 or 4 gyms in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back then. We didn't have a YMCA back then.
Right. Yeah. One of them was at First Baptist Church. We played a fair number of pickup games down there too.
Okay. So, do you remember? I mean, these guys. Do you remember like one play or that just knocked the hell out of you, James? I mean, like you said, they didn't take it easy on you guys. I mean,
Um, Not really, because when I played with the older guys, the bigger guys, I didn't really go up under the basket that much. I stayed outside. I wasn't
Hey,
about to go in there.
one thing, guys, that Ernie Kahn did that probably you guys never did, and that was use the backboard to shoot. He'd shoot off the square. I don't know if I've hardly seen another player in the last 50 years who used the square like he did to bank it off off the backboard into the goal. He was really good at that.
It was a guy from Midland used to do that too, that played at Midland League with Junior Miller. I think his last name was Blackwell or something like that. And he used to bank a lot too. I remember that.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have, going back to your regular play, do you have a memorable story or a play that you just, or a game that really stands out for you during that time? Greg, I'll start with you.
I can't remember which game it was, but in one game, James had one play on defense when he blocked a shot about 10 rows up into the stands. And in that same game, he missed a dunk and the ball bounced all the way up into the stands.
Paladura.
I thought it was Paladura, wasn't it?
It was Paladura. It was the first time I tried to dunk in a game.
Right.
I missed
And it hit the back rim and went about 20 feet high and up into the stands.
I didn't try it no more till district play. And the first night I dunked, it was like in slow motion. I stole the ball. We was playing Lubbock High. I stole the ball. It was in front of our bench. And it just seemed like it took me about 10 seconds to get to the rim. And I kind of just went up and dunked it with both hands. And it surprised me because I didn't know I was going to do it. And all I can remember is the crowd just screaming and going wild.
And how'd you feel after you dunked it?
Oh, I felt like I could dunk any time after that. I didn't miss too many more after that one.
You
Did,
redeemed
were
it.
your hands big enough to cup it, or did you have to use?
No, I could barely palm the ball. I used to have to get a lot of force behind it.
Okay.
I had to put my hand on top of it, either dunk it with two hands or just swing it in there.
Well, most of the time he jumped off both legs also. He didn't usually jump off one leg. He usually jumped off both legs, and he won't tell you this, but he could turn around and dunk it backwards also off two legs.
Nice.
He had a little hop.
It was basic dunks in high school. I didn't really get a dunk repertoire until I went to college and started seeing other people doing things. Then I started doing 360s and bouncing the ball off the floor to hit the backboard, dunk it two hands, hit it on the backboard, dunk it backwards, all kinds of things like that.
Okay.
Because when I went to junior college, I went to Clarendon. There was only two guys from Texas on the team. Everybody else was from Kentucky, New York, Florida, Arizona. And I went there and I was saying, I wonder, can I play with these guys? And the first time we got on the court, I answered my question. So after that, seemed like everywhere I went, I was probably the most athletic person on the team.
Is Clarendon east of Dallas?
Clarendon?
The Panhandle.
No, Clarendon is
Clarendon.
on 287. Just
Southeast Amarillo, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Amarillo,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So, whenever you were playing at junior college, how was the coaching difference between that and high school?
I had a
the reason
Marine for a coach.
Yeah, the reason I'm saying that,
Coach.
I went to Howard Junior College and I played ball,
Yeah.
and I told this to Junior Ashmore that I went to some of the practices, and that coach didn't treat the guys like young men. He would cuss at them, constantly cuss them out.
That was
I was
part
like-
of the course back then.
I'm like, geez, how do you motivate your players when you're calling them MFers? And I mean, it was, I was in shock. And there were a couple times he says, "You guys aren't eating dinner. We're staying here till midnight." And I left around 10 o'clock. So yeah, it was tough.
Well, I had a Marine drill sergeant as a coach my freshman year in Clarendon. And he was hard, but he was fair, So he was a whole lot different from Coach Phillips. Coach Phillips to me was more like a father figure, and Coach Davis, he's in the Hall of Fame in Oklahoma because he coached at Western Oklahoma State. No, Oklahoma Science and Arts. That's where he coached at. And but he would have us run a 12-minute 2-mile. If you didn't make it, you had to go inside and run suicides and all kinds of things. But he was good for me. I didn't start there either my freshman year. I came off the bench the whole year, but I think it was because he wanted to see if I was strong enough to not how can I put this? When I first went there, he told me that he had heard a lot of things about me, and some of them wasn't too good. Like some people were saying that I wasn't friendly enough, which I didn't really talk that much in high school. But the people that I talked to were mainly the people that I played basketball with. So, they didn't. He said that he had heard that I wouldn't get along with my teammates, and it was completely the opposite. So the coach I had my sophomore year told me you should have redshirted last year because that team that I played for my sophomore year was pitiful. We only won 3 games. We won the 3 games before the Christmas break. I came back after Christmas. It was a totally different team. We lost 24 games in a row. It was just like everybody said, we'll stop everybody else and just let him do his thing, because one person can't beat 5.
Right.
Dang.
But
Okay.
I enjoyed it. Got a chance to play against Coach Phillips' team from Western Oklahoma State my sophomore year. He was coaching the girls' team my sophomore year. And I played I always say it was my best college game in front of him at their home gym. I think I went like 11 for 13 that night. I don't know if he probably lost, but it was the best game that I played.
Bill, after he got let out in Plainview, coached 1 year at R.L. Turner High School in Carrollton, and then 28 years at Western Oklahoma there in Altus. And most of those years, he was coaching both men and women.
Yeah, both
That
teams.
was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, he started coaching both teams after I left, after my sophomore year, that very next year.
Right.
Okay. What
Kelly,
about you? I'm sorry. Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
do you have a
Kelly?
memorable game or a play that really just
No, not really. I have a hard time, frankly, remember the details of all that. I remember we what was it? There were only 4 teams in district or 5, whatever it was, but we went undefeated the first half, and then seems like we kind of cratered the second half.
Yeah, both years. Both
So-
years that happened.
We kind of started fast and finished slow, unfortunately. So that's what I do remember.
Did y'all have some kind of a playoff situation where you had a first half champion and a second half champion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Our
definitely
junior
different
year we
than
played.
what you see
Our
now.
junior year we played in Level A against Hereford. We beat them, and the next night we played Coronado, and they beat us.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
And then our senior year we played Hereford again, and I think that was the worst game we ever played as a team. It was the
Is
worst
that the one
shooting
at
night.
West Texas Fieldhouse?
Yeah, at West Texas. That was the worst game we played. Those 2 years we played together,
I think
and it came at a bad time.
I think the coach at Hereford was Barry Arnwine, who had been Bob Clendaniel's assistant at Wayland at one time, the former Plainview High School coach.
Yeah. Coach Clint Daniel, he tried to get me to go to Wayland after I played in a junior college all-star game there, and he was there. And I was talking to him, and I should have went to Wayland, but I ended up going to Bethel College up in Kansas. And if I had it to do all over again, I would have stayed at home and played at home.
Okay. Hey, was the Pioneer tournament around when you guys were playing? Speaking of Wayland,
No,
No,
was it? When did that start?
it was wasn't it for the Queens? but not for the
Yeah.
Pioneers.
Yeah, it was for the Queens.
The
I
Queens
know, but they had a
tournament
guys
started
tournament too.
Queens tournament started in '76, and the guys didn't start till probably 10 years after that. I'm thinking.
Okay. Now, I know you guys mentioned you played New Mexico quite a bit. I assume Bubba Jennings was younger than you guys, 2 or
Yes.
3 years.
Yeah.
Y'all never had a chance to play against him.
No.
No.
I mean, that boy can shoot. I watch him at Tech, and oof, it was lights out.
Yeah.
And that's
They
someone
had-
who probably had the 3-point record, and then no one would ever catch up to it.
You know, unless he's left, Flo, Bubba Jennings is coaching at Arlington Baptist College, just out our back door.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Well, Kelly, did you play any other sports besides basketball?
No, I as a younger kid I did, but for some reason I had this strange notion I might make it to the NBA, so I tried to focus on the basketball. I got a dose of reality pretty quick.
Who'd you play like? Mention a pro player back in the day.
I don't even know. That's a good question.
You know,
I don't-
Craig Elo played at Monterey about y'all's time, I think.
Yeah,
He
Elo was a year behind us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
He was a sophomore.
Yeah.
He played on varsity, but he was a sophomore when we were seniors.
I don't really remember him, but obviously he did well for himself. What do you go? Odessa Junior College and then Washington State, maybe. But yeah, man.
Okay. What about you, James? No.
The only game that I really remember was the Monterey game my senior year, where I hit the 2 free throws to beat them at the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I was going to ask you, what did you play any sports besides?
Well, when I was younger, I played football and baseball, but baseball was my favorite sport back then. But once I got to high school, I just decided to play basketball.
Just one sport guy, huh?
Well,
What
Coach
position did you play baseball?
Phillips really wanted you to focus on basketball if you were going to play ball. I mean, it's a little different than today, but most of us were encouraged to just play basketball.
Same thing with
Yeah.
you, Greg?
Yeah, I played baseball up through sophomore year, and one of our basketball teammates, Larry Womble, was one of the pitchers, and Larry was about 6'5" and 155 pounds, and he could throw it in the upper 90s. And the first time I had to take batting practice against him, I went, okay, my baseball career's done.
Imagine trying to catch him as a catcher. Imagine trying to catch him as a catcher and you're bat blind.
Yeah,
I played catcher in baseball and I was bat blind. Every time somebody swung the ball, I closed my eyes. I don't know how I was catching half the time.
Not a good
I
deal.
know Danny was an umpire a lot, and I used to feel sorry for him because I know he was getting beat up behind me.
Yeah. Greg, you don't have to tell your story, but go ahead and tell it anyway. Because Michael agrees that I wasn't the greatest umpire ever.
Never said that. Never said that, Danny. You call strikes for me pretty well.
Well, Greg, tell him your story from last night, what you told me.
Oh, yeah, there was one game where the bases were loaded, and I got a kid down 0-2, and I threw 3 curveballs right across the middle of the plate, and Danny called them all balls. And so then I got mad, and I hit the kid in the back with a fastball on purpose to walk in a run. Not the best decision of my life, but all I really wanted to do was pitch, and about the same time I had to go up against Larry batting, we went to Hereford, and they made me play first base in 32-degree temperature, and I went, it's too cold to do this. I think that was my last game.
Okay.
I'm gonna first time I've ever had to do this, but I'm gonna have to sign out. I am in excruciating pain and not feeling really well. So I've hung on as long as I can, but it was a pleasure meeting you guys, and we're just so happy that you agreed to come on and enjoy the rest of the show with Flo. Danny, it was nice seeing you again, but I've got to go get it horizontal and I need some pain meds.
Take care of
Take care
yourself.
of yourself, girl.
Take
All right,
care.
good night, Lisa. We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so you guys talked a little bit about the playoffs. How far did you guys get in the playoffs your junior or your senior year, James?
We got beat out in district each year. We had playoff games to go to by district, and we lost both games. The junior year, we lost to Coronado. The senior year, we lost to Hereford.
Now, let me ask you, and then Danny could probably help me with this. Were y'all, I mean, was that expected? I mean, not expected, but my point, what I'm trying to ask you guys is, was that a disappointment? Did you guys have a better team to go in and just lose your first playoff game?
We were serial
like
underachievers.
I felt like we did.
Yeah.
I
Why
felt
is
like
that?
my high school team was probably the best team that I played on collectively. We had everything we needed to win. I just felt like we just came up short.
We had 11 seniors. We had 8 guys on the team that could dunk the basketball. We should have gone a lot farther than what we did. We had a lot of really good athletes. We just didn't put it together.
I hate to ask, was it coaching? Is it attitudes?
I feel like we should have been a press all the time, run and gun team, and we should have played the whole roster. There was basically 5 of us played almost all the minutes, and there was guys like Kelly and Larry Womble and Russell Lamb and guys that should have been on the floor playing a lot that didn't get to play, and we should have been playing as hard as we could and then coming out of the game and taking a breather. But I think James probably played 98% of the minutes, and I probably played 95% of the minutes. And we had a bunch of really good players sitting on the bench watching us play.
What about your thoughts, Kelly?
Oh, yeah, it's kind of the philosophy of coaching. I agree with what he just said, which is do you either get your players to go with your program, or do you adapt your program based on the players? And yeah, it was kind of more of a run and gun kind of team, and it was always kind of frustrating to me that that's kind of the way it was. And again, I think, who knows, but we were underachievers. I think the team was better than what we ended. And, I think, like I said, we started fast, first half of district. I think we won all our games. And then the wheels came off the bus and we lost the last few.
James?
What Kelly said, I think we were underachievers. And if the tempo probably would have been more up, we probably would have done a lot better, because we had some games where we would score 100 points, and those games we blew the teams out. It wasn't even no kind of contest, but Coach Phillips had his style, and that's what we stuck to.
What do you think, Danny, about this team?
Gosh, I can't, really can't remember. I only challenged James on the fact that I don't think we've scored over 100 points about 4 times in school history, but probably scored maybe up in the 80s or 90s. But anyway, all that aside, I don't really have a great recollection of that team. That was my, let's see, 76, 77. That was my last year as sports editor, I think. And, I was also refereeing at that time, and I probably was missing some of the games. Bud Kaysen may have been covering some of the games for the Herald, so I may not have seen as many of your games as I probably should have.
Okay.
You didn't miss that much.
Do what now, Greg?
I said you didn't miss that much.
Well, Greg, tell us more about Coach Phillips.
It's like James said, he had his style, and it was successful for him, in particular with my brother's team. And I think that was a team that was suited to that style. Our team was not particularly suited to that style, but that was what that's what he had been successful with, and that's what he was going to stick to.
Did you guys ever challenge him?
That wasn't really an option.
No. I mean, James, you just didn't take the ball and he'll call a play. I'm like, forget that. I'm an audible.
Nah. Never.
No, never. Well, what do you think about Coach Phillips?
He was a good storyteller. That's for sure. And but you know, if Coach Phillips believed in you, he would give you some leeway. You know, not that much, but you could get some leeway and get away with a few things. But other than that, he was probably one of the best coaches that I had.
And how long was he there? And playing? How long did he coach?
He was head coach for 9 years, I believe.
Okay.
Starting 68, 69 season and up to you guys' senior year. But
Was that the last year?
Bill taught history. You know, he'd been at Quail and Sam Norwood, a lot of small schools to you. Very successful at Estacada Junior High. And someone said one time of 180 teaching days, Bill Phillips showed films 175 of those days. And he said he gave a test one time and said, like 20 questions, said, number 20 says, ignore the previous 19 questions and tell us what you think about old Coach Phillips. he was quite a character. He really was.
He also ran the pool at the country club.
He sure did. Yeah, wore that zinc oxide on his nose, and you know, quite a guy.
That's funny. Kelly, what about you, man? What you think about the Mr. Coach Phillips?
You know, the truth is, so many years have passed. I don't remember that much. I mean, it was kind of his way or the highway, and he had been successful at it. You know.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, let me. Who was your idol? I mean, it could be someone like older than you, James, like older than you in the neighborhood, or was it a college basketball player, or was it a pro player? I mean, who'd you look up to when you were young, and then you wanted to be?
Well, I didn't want to be him, but David Thompson was one of my favorite players growing up because I lived in North Carolina for a year. My 8th grade year, I went to school in North Carolina. Then we moved back to Plainview my freshman year.
The old coach from Georgetown?
No.
Is that him?
No, David Thompson, he played at North Carolina State.
Okay.
Back in the early 70s.
With a 48-inch vertical leap.
Yeah. Played professionally for the Denver Nuggets.
All right. What about you, Kelly? Did you look up someone, or?
The guy that I remember that I would love to have had the talent for was Jerry West.
Yes. Why is that?
I just liked the way he played. What was it?
He was unstoppable.
West Virginia, like that, and he was a real talent. He's still in basketball today, I believe.
They passed away, but in fact, I got to meet him at
He's the logo. He's the logo for the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I got to meet him when the Flying Queens were inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame back in 2019, and just a kind of a quick meeting, but nice fella.
Yeah, and he played ball. Then he became the GM, I believe, of the Lakers, didn't he?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Many years. What about you, Mr. Bassett? Who was your idol back then?
My brother.
Okay, that's cool. Why is that? Besides being your brother,
He was all state, took his team to the state semifinals, and he claims he went to Baylor and played basketball there, and he claims that in his entire career at Baylor, he lost one game of force, which I can believe because he was a heck of a shooter. But
So
I'm with James on David Thompson. David Thompson, there was a great story when he was in the NBA. His point guard was Monty Tao, and during the game, they threw him an alley-oop. And after the game, they said, well, what did you think about that? And Monty Tao said, I thought I threw it over the backboard. And David Thompson said he did.
So, again, your brother was 6 years older than you, correct?
Right.
Right. Tell us some, at home when I assume you played basketball, even though you're 6 years younger than him. But I assume you guys played basketball together at the house, or share something that stands out.
We lived just off campus at Wayland, and we had regulation basketball goal on 2 galvanized pipes out in the backyard, and there was no grass underneath, basically where the key would have been, because we were out there all the time dribbling and shooting and playing. So yeah, I grew up playing against him my whole life. I was a decent ball handler because when I was 12, I was playing against him and all of his friends, and the only thing I could play was point guard because I was 5'6" and they were all 6'3" and 6'4". So,
And you're still the little brother because Charlie's a big man.
that's right. He's 6'7". So,
Dang. Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. All right, let's change it a little. So let's go to high school. I mean, not basketball, but just high school in general. Back in the '77, where did you guys hang out on the weekends? I mean, I know Gibson's was one of the things in the late '70s, and then we did the Drag on Fifth. What was it like in '77, James?
I really didn't hang out too many places. Just in the neighborhood, we had a little club in the neighborhood you go to, and then I'd play basketball, baseball, football with all the guys in the neighborhood and home. That was basically it.
So no shenanigans going out and.
No, I was really a homebody most of the time during those years.
Okay. What about you, Greg? Where'd you guys hang out?
Sonic Drive-In and Gibson's parking lot.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, hell, you guys were legal back then to drink at 18.
Correct.
Yeah, some of us weren't 18 in high school, though.
21.
My wife reminded me that I went to city council because council was trying to pass some sort of ordinance to not let us congregate in the Gibson's parking lot. And their theory was that that's where drug transactions took place. And I went to city council and told them that was not the case, that if you wanted drugs, you had to go to the Arrowhead Drive-In.
That was our hangout back in the late 60s.
Danny was probably there. No, I'm kidding, Danny. I'm just teasing.
And I was not dealing any drugs at that time. I didn't know what they were.
At that time.
When the Sonic came along, then the Arrowhead became the drug hangout.
All right. What was the vehicle? I mean, what was like the top vehicles back then in school, Kelly?
Well, Greg had a pretty cool car he inherited. That was a nice one.
1967 GTO, baby.
Yeah.
Sweet. You still have it?
Yeah.
No, I sold it and bought a 1977 Monte Carlo, which was one of the worst vehicles ever manufactured. I wish I could get that GTO back.
There were a lot of guys that had cool trucks. Larry Womble, he mentioned, was one of my good friends, and Larry had an El Camino rod, and that was pretty cool. A lot of guys had cars like that, and I had a big bomb that would fit about 12 people in it, and that was pretty popular too.
Yeah, I almost killed Kelly, Lindsay, and Larry Womble one day. We were out before one of the football games, and I had that GTO going about 110 out on the interstate, and somebody pulled out in front of us. And I locked it up. Kelly, I don't know if you remember that or not, but I can still remember that.
I don't remember that thing.
Dang, well,
Good.
I'll toot my horn. When I was a sophomore, my parents bought me a '79 Trans Am T-top, so
pretty good.
I enjoyed that vehicle, and like you, I traded it for, I forgot what it was, and it was the worst mistake I ever did. So, but James, what about some teachers? Who is your, besides your coach? What teacher influenced you back then, or made a big impact?
The only teacher I really remember is Mrs. King, which she's Mrs. Quaby now.
Yeah.
She was an English teacher.
Tommy Sue King, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, why her? Or I mean, you remember her, but what do you remember about her?
I just remember that she was always nice, and if I had any questions about anything, I asked her. Also, Coach Buchanan, Pat Buchanan, I remember him. He
Oh,
played
yeah.
a big
Oh wow, he was there back then,
part
huh?
of my favorites.
Okay. What about you, Greg?
Larry McBee.
He wasn't a assistant principal back then.
No, Henry was the assistant principal. McBee was at that point was a math teacher, elementary analysis, and I think Kelly, didn't you have independent studies with him?
I did. Yep. So Big B would be at my list, and a guy named John Blaine would also be there. John was a freshman algebra teacher, and I was kind of having a little trouble, and he had a unique way of explaining things that helped a lot of kids. It helped me too, and so I remember him, and I think he had a history beyond that as well before teaching, but I still remember him being a big influence for me.
John Blaine was very successful football and basketball coach over at Dimmitt, and then went to Sundown, and then came to Plainview as the athletic director in the early '60s, and really only held that job for a couple of years, but was really he was my sophomore math teacher, and just really a great man.
Yep.
Did you guys was fortunate to get licks from Mr. McBee back then? Was he known to give licks like?
I did.
And
He's the only one that got me.
Go ahead, Kelly.
I don't think I got licks from him, but I have a good McBee story. It's he had his own problem with temper, getting angry, and I was playing golf with him one day when I'm in high school or shortly thereafter, and he hit a bad shot or whatever he did, and threw his whole bag, threw the clubs, threw everything. He's the teacher, or again, dean or whatever he was at the time, and he was a strong guy, short but strong. And he broke his golf bag, and he was embarrassed that he did it in front of me. And so for the next 2 or 3 hours, he held the whole golf bag with one hand, up, and just couldn't stop apologizing. And I had dinner with him about 3 weeks ago, and I reminded him of that day.
And what did he say?
He, of course, feigned memory, and he said he's a changed man.
He was legendary. They said he could take you right off the floor with a lick. So
Left-hander.
Quite a reputation.
Yep, I can vouch for that. He got me for running to lunch.
I mean, literally, he would put tears to some of the football players because I worked the office my senior year. I'm not gonna mention names, but these guys were like 6'3", 250, and they were wiping their eyes.
He was.
I mean, I could just hear it. I'm like, oh, I can feel it.
Well, he was an athlete back in the day, I guess, but he was telling me, when I saw him a few weeks ago, that he had run and come in second in the 50-yard dash for seniors in the state of New Mexico the previous year or two. And so he got beat pretty badly for first place, but he said he came in second for that. So the idea at his age now, he's still doing stuff like that. It's a testament to him.
Yeah, good for him.
Great.
Now, there was rumored he was a tennis player. Is that true?
That I don't know.
You don't know? No one? Okay. Greg, did you get any licks, man?
Last day of school.
What did you do?
Turned a bunch of tables over in the cafeteria for no good reason.
Just because, huh?
Before I could graduate, I had to get licks from, what's his name, Henry.
Bob Henry.
He could hit pretty hard too.
Yes, he could.
Kelly, Bob was the principal, wasn't he?
Assistant principal.
Veach.
Beach was the principal.
And then when I guess Veach became superintendent, he became the principal. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Greg. Cell phones now, with captures everything, video, photo, whatever. If you had a cell phone back in the day, back in senior, junior, it doesn't matter. What's a moment you wish you would have caught on video? And it doesn't have to be sports related. Is there something in your mind that you wished, like, man, that you can think of now that you wish you would have captured? skip to James and you can think about it. James, what about you? Good.
Right off the top of
Funny.
my head, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, there you go.
I did have one dunk our senior year, and against Amarillo High, I think it was. And I wish I had that on video so I could show my kids that I wasn't always an old fat man.
Tell us about the dunk. How did it come about? I mean, what was the play? I mean, what happened?
It was just somebody, I think Punchy stole the ball around midcourt, and it was a transition play, and he just led me down the court, and there was nobody anywhere close to me, and so I took one dribble and jumped up and dunked it with both hands because, like James, I couldn't really palm the ball, so I had to teach myself to jump high enough to dunk with two hands. When I was a freshman, I was 6'3", same as I am now, and I could barely touch the rim. And by the time we were seniors, I could get probably up to about there over the rim.
How about now?
I don't think I can touch that. The last time I was on a basketball court, I think I scared the little kids, so I don't go on the court anymore.
What about you, Kelly? Is there a moment? I
would be mostly thankful there weren't not cell phones back then. For me and everybody that I knew, including these guys. So
you don't want to share a story?
Good.
No, I'm just glad we lived in the age of teenagers not having cell phones, having raised kids in the cell phone age, and now they get to raise their kids in cell phone age. We lived in a great decade.
Yes, we did. I'm going back to you, James. Anything yet?
No,
Nothing.
nothing.
Not that slow-mo dunk?
I'm kind of like Kelly. I'm glad they didn't have it back then. I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Well, guys, appreciate you guys coming out tonight. I mean, I really do. Had a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and get with parting words. I mean, unless Danny, you have anything to add before we go to parting words?
No, other than you didn't ask me about mine, but I caught a 64-yard touchdown pass to beat Borger in JV game, and what I wouldn't give for a video of that. However, the previous week I made 3 terrible plays in the last minute we got beat by Coronado, and it was all my fault, so sort of made up for it. But man, I'd like to have a picture because I was on the dead run over the shoulder catch and outran everybody. I think what happened was the defensive back supposed to cover me fell down, and so left me wide open.
So you're a wide receiver, not a tight end.
That's right.
64 yards, pretty nice.
I was like of the Pete Gent school of what I liked in speed, I make it up in cowardice.
Well, before what do you think about basketball now? And from you guys, watching it all since you were young to today's pros, how is it played differently? You think it's enjoyable, or I'll start with Craig.
The 3-point shot has changed the game materially.
Good way or bad way?
In a good way.
Okay.
And they might need to expand the court. It's there's a lot of isolation that goes on. It's not as pretty a game as it was in the 80s. But yeah, 3-point shot is probably the biggest difference.
What about you, Kelly?
Oh, I'd agree with that 100%. I mean, our team would have been different had we had the 3-point line, and just the way you see it these days. I mean, they're really focusing on the 3-point, and our job was to get it down low for the most part. And so it's almost to the point where it's not the same game at all.
What about you, James?
Yeah, I agree with Kelly. Because when we played, it was inside out, and that's outside in.
Right.
That's the biggest difference in it, and the athletes you have more athletes now
Right.
Yeah.
doing
Well, I don't
things.
think they're as physical like they were in the 80s. I mean, I
No.
watched documentaries like the Detroit team. I mean, these guys are beating the hell of each other. I mean, beating up Bird. You know,
Yeah.
Well, we didn't
Well-
get to play like that. We had guys like Danny that if you touched somebody, he was going to call a foul on you.
Well, and you got them now talking about they're making 25 million a year, and they want, what is it? The term load management, meaning
Yeah.
they play so many games they want to make the same money, but only want to play every other game or whatever they're talking about. And that's not the way it was in the 80s in the NBA, like you say, or the 70s or before. And these guys were tough, mean guys, and they didn't take any crap for anybody, which the kind of game I like.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I remember watching Bird and Magic play for the championship NCAA, watching the Indiana State, Michigan State, and that's why I became a big Lakers fan because of Magic. Watching that game, that was a sweet game back in the day. So, hey guys, again, thank you, and Danny, thank you for coming. James, let's start with you. Your parting words.
I appreciated it. It was nice seeing classmates that I hadn't seen in 30, nearly 40 years. I think the last time I seen you, Greg, was at our 10-year class reunion.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. I really did. I was looking forward to this, not knowing how it was going to turn out or anything, because I'm the type of person I really don't like talking about myself. But this was fun. I enjoyed it.
Well, thank you, Kelly.
Well, I've enjoyed it too. I have fond memories of high school, fond memories of our team, and fond memories of Danny. And so it's great that you're doing this, Flo. Appreciate that.
Well, thank you. And again, my condolences. Your dad, good man, great man. Everyone loved him. Greg, what about you, my man?
Same thing these guys said. It was great to see them. I've seen Kelly plenty over the last few years as we lived in the same town, but I hadn't seen James since I guess 1987. So I guess we'll see each other again in 2027 when we all make it back for the 50, right?
Yeah, because I'm moving back to Plainview next year.
I did, by the way, see Scott Ramsey 2 weeks ago. He's the same as he always was.
What about you, Danny?
Oh, just what an honor to get to cover Plainview sports for 8 years, sports editor, and continue to watch the teams through the next 28 years living there or working there at the Herald. But I really appreciate James asking me to come on. I don't really know why. I thought maybe I was going to have to speak for him. I'd have to be his interpreter or something. But it was nice.
That was my
got good memories of each of you guys. And if I ever called a strike on you that wasn't a strike, or didn't call a strike that should have been Greg, then I humbly apologize.
I got over it.
Do me a favor next year at y'all's reunion. Y'all play a little game of 21, and I want it filmed.
That would be ugly.
Yeah, that would be really ugly.
There's no wheelchair basketball in our future.
Well, guys, again, thank you and happy holidays, man. You guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thank y'all for joining our show. And hey, hopefully we can see you guys again. But anyway, thank y'all. You guys have a good evening.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
It's a pleasure.
Well, guys, that was episode 72 of the 77 basketball team. It was good. I've always heard about James Porch, because I did play a little basketball, played to my sophomore year, but definitely was one of the guys that I heard a lot about. And I'm, let's all hope and let's pray for Lisa to heal quickly. And next Monday, I haven't had a chance to tell Lisa this. We may do an STS 30 on just me and her, and kind of explain in more details what STS 30 is. And then also, oh, my bad. This Thursday, we will have an STS 30. We're going to have Cash. Oh, sorry. Just went Cash Terry. Oh, geez. I can't believe I'm a little embarrassed here that I forgot Cash Terry. I did say it right. Cash Terry. He's going to talk about, his time climbing mountains in the last several years. So, and then I mentioned Monday, maybe do an STS 30 on Lisa and I. And then the last show of the year will be my daughters. That's right. I'll have my girls, Riley and Maya, on the show. But anyway, good night, everyone. Peace and love. And we'll see you guys on Thursday. Good night.